What is your profession?
So here we have 1,000 points of Armageddon Steel Legion. We're in a battalion today. Over here we have the troop choices. We have 3 chimeras with 2 heavy bolters and a heavy stubber. And then in each one of those we have an infantry squad. Each infantry squad has a sergeant with a bolter and chainsword and then a plasma gun. 10 men in each squad. Moving on to the heavy support section, we have 2 Lehman Russ Conquerors, both with Conqueror cannon, 2 storm bolters, a heavy bolter and 2 plasma cannons. And then we have 2 armoured sentinels. Both of these have just got 1 lance cannon. And finally, leading the force today, we have 3 characters. We have a company commander with bolt pistol and power sword. We have a tech boost engine seer with omniscient axe and servo arm. And we have old man Yarrick himself. So there we go. That is 1,000 points of Armageddon Steel Legion. Let's see what they're facing off against. So here we have 1,000 points of Eldar today. These guys are going to be part of the Ulthway Craft World, which means they're all going to be getting a 6-up Feel No Pain. Starting off with the troop section, we have 3 squads of Guardians. Each one of these Guardian squads has just got shuriken catapults, and 2 of the squads are 10 man, and 1 of the squads is 14 men. Then in the support element today, we have a Wave Serpent, and that's got 3 shuriken cannons, and we have a Crimson Hunter XR. This is armed with a pulse laser and 2 bright lances. For some close combat action today, we have a squad of 5 Wraith Blades. Each one of these has got a Wraith Axe and a Power Shield, which gives them a 4+ invulnerable save. And finally, 2 characters. We have a Farseer and we have a Spirit Seer. So there we go, Eldar Trickery versus Imperium Armour. Let's go over Warlord traits, relics and psychic powers. So here we have the Warlords, relic bearers and psychers for both armies. So starting off with the Elder, the Farseer is going to be the Warlord today, and she is going to have the Warlord trait from the Ulthway Craft World, which is Fate Reader, which means at the beginning of each one of our turns, both the Imperial turn and the Eldar turn, they will roll a dice, and on a 6 the Elder player will get a command point back. So a little bit of CP farming there. Farseer is also going to have the relic today, which is going to be the Ghost Helm of Alashir. Probably not pronounced that correctly, but essentially that gives the Farseer +1 to their attempts to manifest Smite. So that Farseer is going to be a force to be reckoned with today. In terms of psychic powers, the Farseer is going to have Guide and Doom, which, if any of you are unfamiliar with that, Guide is cast on a friendly Eldar unit, lets them reroll hits. Doom is cast on an enemy unit and lets you reroll wounds against that unit. The Spirit Seer today is going to have Jinx, which, if successfully cast, is put on one of my units and reduces my armor save by 1. So lots of psychic trickery going on today. Unfortunately, the Guard don't have any way to defend themselves against psychic powers apart from lots and lots of guns. In terms of Warlords and Relic Bearers today, the Warlord is going to be Yarrick. He's going to have his inbuilt Warlord trait, which is Master of Command. Essentially means Yarrick gets to issue an order, even though he's not an officer. And the Relic Bearer today is going to be my Commander, and he's going to have Kurov's Aquila, which means each time my opponent spends a command point on a 5+, I'm going to steal that command point. So a little bit of CP farming from both sides here. That's because it's only a 1,000-point game, so we both only have a battalion, so it's only 8 command points each. So we do need some way to gain some extra command points. So there we go. Let's move on to the field of battle after deployment. So here we have the field of battle after deployment. We're playing the mission 1 of the Eternal War from missions from Chapter Approved 2018. It's the first time I play one of these Chapter Approved missions, so it's pretty exciting. We're doing Dawn of War deployment just to keep it simple whilst we're doing a new mission. We'll go over the mission first. So there are 5 objectives, basically 1 in each table quarter and 1 in the centre. Each one of these objectives is worth 1 point, but at the beginning of each battle round you roll a dice, and whichever number it is, that objective is worth 2 points. So if I roll a dice and get objective 5, then objective 5 would be worth 2 points. If you get a 6, then all objectives are worth 2 points for that round. The Elder player deployed everything first, and I deployed the second, so that means in the new Chapter Approved mission you actually don't take it in turns to deploy, you deploy everything in one go, which means I don't get a +1, I just get a chance to seize the initiative. But we'll go over that in a second. In terms of deployment, I deployed 3 Chimeras in the centre here with the Sentinel screening up front, Yarrick in that one and the Company Commander in that one. Then I have my 2 Conquerors with an Engine Seer and another Sentinel screening there. The reason I put those Sentinels out front is because the other players put the 14 man's Guardian Squad in the webway. The rest of the units are here. We have the Crimson Hunter Exarch. No point in trying to hide from this guy. If he wants to get you, he's going to get you, so I just decided to deploy front and centre. And then we've got a Guardian Squad near this objective, a Wave Serpent full of the Wraith Blades and both characters here, and the second Guardian Squad here. So, there we go. Let's see if the Imperium can seize initiative. I need a 6. And yep, I get the 6. Jez is very annoyed because I said I'll do it on camera for some cinema action, but there we go. We'll be back at the end of Imperial Guard. I'll tell you what, we'll roll the dice to see which objective it is. It's a 6 again. Different dice, which means every objective is now worth 2 points. So let's see what happens at the end of Guard. So Imperial Guard turn 1 was pretty effective. This squad jumped out of this Chimera to hold that objective. Yarrick came out here to give these 3 Chimeras rerolling 1s to hit. That's one of his aura buffs. And these guys moved up 5 inches, just under 5 inches, to try and get in range of that Wave Serpent. And these 2 Sentinels moved as well. This one to claim this objective, and this one to push the screen out. In terms of shooting, all the heavy bolters plus this Conqueror cannon went into this Guardian Squad here, and we just managed to wipe them out. And then this Conqueror opened fire onto this Wave Serpent, but it used lightning fast reflexes, and I think it only took 1 damage in the end, so that's really resilient. Both las cannons missed as well because they were hitting on 6s against this thing. And the last thing to say is the plasma cannons, 2 storm bolters and heavy bolter went into this squad, and I killed like 1 or 2 of them, not too many. So I got first strike, and I'm holding 2 objectives. It's going to be up to the Eldar now to respond and see what they can do against this Imperial. So end of turn 1 for the Eldar was quick and clean. The Crimson Hunter Exarch was guided. This tank was doomed. The result was inevitable. 10 damage for the Bright Lances, and another 5 from the Pulse Laser meant that this tank was just turned to molten slag straight away. The triple Shuriken Cannon tried to tickle this Sentinel to death, but Jez didn't get any 6s for his wounds, and the Sentinel saved all of the damage. The Shuriken rounds just pattering off the armoured Sentinel there. So at the end of round 1, both sides controlled 2 objectives, and there were 2 points each. Both sides got 4 points, plus both sides scored first strike, so that's 5 points. Jez rolled the dice to see which objective was going to be the superior one, and he rolled another 6. So now everything's worth 2 points again. So it's going to be a high roller game today. Lots of points are going to be scored. Let's see what the guy can do to respond. We're going to have to deal with this plane because it is going to cause us some major issues otherwise. Let's see what happens at the end of Guard turn 2. So quick Imperial Guard turn. We're struggling to damage these Eldar vehicles because of that one had lightning fast reflexes put on it again, which meant this last cannon bounced, and all of the small arms that went into it bounced. The tank went into the plane when, after a good amount of hits, only got 2 wounds, even with the command point reroll. But in total, we were, from everything from the tank, we were able to put 6 wounds on it, and then a cheeky heavy stubber managed to get another wound on it. So in total, we did 7 wounds to that plane. So we're in a bit of a precarious position, but the Eldar have used nearly all their command points. They've only got 1 left. Lightning fast reflexes are expensive. So let's see what the Eldar can do going into their turn 2. So very good Eldar turn there. These Guardians deep struck from the webway onto here, opened fire with guide onto the Sentinel, managed to do 3 wounds to it. And then this Wave Serpent claimed that objective and was able to do another wound to it, but it is still operational. Over here, the Wraith Blades have come in. They lost 2 against the Conqueror on Overwatch because it had defensive gunners, which made a big difference. They were able to, in total, including for firepower from this now degraded Crimson Hunter, do 7 wounds to that Lehman Russ. They're also able to kill the Engine Seer and tie up the Armour Sentinel. What they have done of really big importance is to stop the Guard from claiming this objective. So that means that the Eldar have scored 1, 2, 3 objectives. There were 2 points each, that's 6 points. And the Guard have only managed to score 2 this time. So now the score is 7 to 11. Yeah. So that's a big swing into the Eldar's favour. Let's see what the Imperial Guard can do to respond to this. I'll tell you what, we'll roll to see which is the important objective as well. 1. That one over there. So unless the Imperial Guard can do something to stop that, it's going to be difficult to stop the Eldar from getting another big point. So the Guard, in an absolute blaze of small arms fire, was able to wipe out the 14-man squad of Guardians here, even though the Eldar used their last point on Celestial Shield, giving them a 4-up invuln. And I was also, with all my Chimeras, and even though I was manageable to hit on 2 of them, thanks to them moving, I was quite lucky with my hits, thanks to Yarrick letting me reroll the 1s, and I was able to actually wipe them out. And I have to say, the Eldar were just really unlucky with their saves. They must have had to make 24 6-up all-the-way saves, didn't make any of them, and the 4-up saves themselves were really bad. So that was really, really unlucky for the Eldar there. They didn't need that. They needed a 4-up save on that squad and a 4-5-up save on that squad with 6-up through in their pain, and the saves just weren't coming through. And the last thing to say is a cheeky bolt round was able to knock a wound off one of these Wraith Blades. So the Eldar looking a bit thin on the ground, but in terms of troops, but they still have all their main damage-dealing units. They've still got the Crimson Hunter, they've still got majority of the Wraith Blades, and this is pretty much undamaged, taking 1 wound. So the Eldar, while still on the ground, have got all their main damage dealers. Let's see how they can respond to this Imperial Guard. So, good turn by the Eldar again. They're able to bring this tank down to just 3 wounds, but they did lose one of their number in Overwatch from a cheeky overcharged plasma cannon. These 2 Psychers over here were able to do 4 wounds with Smite, and it was, again, really good luck then bad luck from this Psyker, because he got the super smite off and then he only got 2 damage. Jez used his last command point to re-roll that damage and he went down to 1 damage. So he did 1 damage with the super smite to this thing, and then this guy with only a little baby smite was able to do 3 damage. So yeah, just kind of how this game's been for the Eldar in a nutshell. And then over here, this Crimson Hunter tried to assassinate Yarrick, but got him down. He did 5 damage, so he took 3 wounds straight away. And then with his Iron Will, he made 2 3-up saves not to lose his last wound. So Yarrick is stood there on 1 wound. And then these guys lost 3 of their number to some shuriken fire. They were doomed, but it didn't matter. But they did pass their leadership. So in terms of points now, the Guard have scored another 2. But this Farseer was able to advance onto that objective, which means the Eldar have got another 4, which means now it's 9 points to the Guard and 15 points to the Eldar. So whilst the Eldar are low on numbers, they really do have a huge point advantage. So going into turn 4, let's see which is the big objective. 1 again. So the Eldar are continuing to hold the superior objective. Let's see if the Guard can do anything about that. So Guard are sort of moving into position here. We've still managed to hold that objective. We're sort of holding the centre. We've moved on to this objective. But because we've lost most of our big guns now, with this Conqueror being tied up and the other one being destroyed, it's been really difficult to actually do any damage to the Eldar heavy hitters. We did manage to do another wound to that. We managed to do 3 wounds to the Farseer and Tyre up in close combat. And we were able to do 1 wound to one of the Wraith Guard over here, but that was it. Just very scattered damage. Lasguns and heavy bolters going off in every direction, but not actually achieving a whole lot. So let's see what the Eldar can do going to their turn 4. So what an absolute nail-biter of an Eldar turn. This Crimson Hunter flew over here, put everything into the Leman Russ here, and failed to do any damage to it. Without guide and without doom, the natural toughness of the Leman Russ actually came into effect for once, and Eldar weapons only being strength 8 but with a high AP, but strength 8 versus toughness 8, nothing was able to get through. Over here, these guys, through a combination of smite and close combat attacks, were able to kill 5 of them, and I used a command point, so they only take their leadership test on a D3. So they still hold that objective. I didn't do any damage in return. And then over here, this Farseer really I don't think it's really a Farseer. I think it's some sort of apprentice which has put the Farseer robes on. But the reason I'm saying is he got another super smite, so he can't really control his powers. Jez only had to get a 2 to destroy this Sentinel, and he got a 1. No command points left, and then he wasn't able to do any damage in the fight phase, which meant we cancelled each other out here, so Jez didn't get the 2 extra points for holding the superior objective again. And so because of that, because of the Guard's stubbornness and the Eldar bad luck, the Eldar only scored 1 point that turn, and the Imperial Guards scored 3, which meant the score is now 12 points to the Guard and 16 points to the Eldar. So there's not a huge difference in it. And you know, 4 points, the Guard might be able to do something here. It's going to come down to what is going to be the big objective this turn. Objective number 4, which is this one here. So that is interesting. That is very, very interesting. Let's see what the Guard can do to try and secure objective number 4. That's a really, really close turn. We're able to eliminate the Wraith Blades by firing everything into them, and this squad was then able to fall back and get back in the fight thanks to this guy and put 3 wounds on the Spirit Seer. Unfortunately, they couldn't charge because they fell back, and he failed his 8-inch charge against them. This guy fell back here. He didn't want to give the Farseer a free round of combat, though he's probably going to die to smite. And finally, first hit of the game, the las cannon finally hit the plane, wounded the plane. Jez didn't make a save, and I got 5 damage. Orthway didn't protect him, and that plane finally went down. So that's the end of Guard turn 5. Let's see how the Eldar can respond. They're thin on the ground, but they've got some key units. They've still got both their Psychers, still got their tank. Let's see what they can do. So end of Eldar turn 5, and the bad luck has just continued to plague them. Over here, the Smite was only able to kill 2. And then when the Spirit Seer charged in, remember this is the superior objective, missed with 1 attack, hitting on a 2. Wounding on a 2+, got a 1, so failed. The Guardsmen unfortunately didn't kill her, but it didn't matter, they were being obstinate, they still scored that objective. Over here, the Farseer was able to blow up the Sentinel. They did get a Perils, but thanks to that Ghost Helm, she just survived all the mortal wounds, even though there was 3 mortal wounds, because if she's on 1 wound as well, if she had died, that would have been really bad. And then over here, the Sentinel just absorbed all the damage from the Wave Serpent. So, as the points stand, it is 16 points to the Guard, 18 points to the Eldar. The game will continue on a 3-up. Jez really, really doesn't want it to go on. Let's see what he gets. He gets a 3. The game is going to continue. That's really not what the Eldar wanted. Let's see what the Guard can do. So we just rolled the dice to see if what was going to be the superior objective. And the worst possible result for the Eldar, they got 6. Cool tabletop tactics dice here. The reason that's a really bad result is because the Guard can control 3 objectives, which is going to give them a 6-point boost. And the Eldar, if they survive, if that Farseer survives, the most they can get is a 4-point. Which means at best there's going to be a draw, but then there could be Warlord over there, could die, Linebreaker.
I'm on 1 wound.
You're on 1 wound there, you're on 1 wound there.
So you're going to take it out anyway. All left is that 1 on there.
Yeah, so we're just going to, basically how the game would end is, I don't think the Guard have what it takes to physically kill this Wave Serpent with its
The irony being I rolled nothing but 1s and 2s, but when I want a 1 or 2, I roll a 3.
Yeah, Eldar have been rolling 1s and 2s all game. They need just for once they need to get a 1 and a 2, and they got that 3. So we're going to set the Eldar. We're going to basically talk it out, which is where the Guard. We'll say it ends. You know, it's going to the Guard would probably would get that kill there. So that would be 2 points to the Guard here, 2 points to the Guard there, 2 points for the Guard there. So that's 6 points. The Eldar would get 2 points there, which would bring it into a 2-point lead to the Guard, and then there's nothing really the Eldar could do to stop that.
So
really.
basically, the Farseer and Spirit Seer would teleport back up to the craft world.
Yeah.
And the remaining Wave Serpent flies off.
Yeah. So just really, really close game. Eldar on the lead all the way there, but I guess it's kind of a fluffy ending to the game because the Guard, just through sort of attrition, were able to overwhelm the Eldar. If it had ended in a quick battle like the Eldar wanted, then they would have easily won. Yeah, clearly I think this is a junior Farseer. She didn't read the fates properly, and as a result, a lot of Eldar have died.
In fact, reading the face upside down.
Oh, the map's upside down. But yeah, really, really good game. Eldar so strong, and if you notice, they were. Even with all their Guardians gone, even all their OBSEC gone, the Eldar were just carving through Guard units. I mean, yeah, I've only got one infantry squad left really. My chimeras are undamaged, but they're not doing a lot, and that's it really. So one infantry squad and a couple of chimeras. And the Eldar against a very tank-heavy list have managed to pretty much wipe everything else out. So really, really good game from the Eldar. Guard managed to snatch it in the end, but that's it. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next.